got the bleachers, got 'em from spring till fall. Got a dog, and a drink, and the umpire's call. What do you want? Let's play ball. Is that a fly ball? Or is it a seagull? Coming in from the lake just to catch the game. It's the last inning. Our guys are winning. Dave's put down a smoker, a strike, and you got no doubt. What do you want? Let's play ball. Okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball. It's a beautiful evening, fans, at the ballpark, and the game starts. Warm summer breezes, sun's going down. It's all dark in the ballpark. That's okay. It's a night game. Okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball. Okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball. Bring on the White Sox, bring on the Bo Sox, bring on the Brewers, the Rangers, and the Yankees too. We'll beat the Indians, we'll beat the Tigers, we'll beat the A's so bad, gonna make Billy blue. What do you want? Let's play ball. Okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball. Okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball.
All right, let's play ball, as the song says. We are at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto for Game 2 of the 1977 Chicago White Sox replay. And as I did in the first game, we'll do a little throwback and open up a little stack of 1978 Topps cards. I don't know what's in there. Like I said, these are all pretty much commons, but I paid common price for them too, very little. So I'm not expecting much. It's just something to kind of reminisce a little bit. And let's see what we get in this pack of 1978 Topps. And then we'll get started with the ball game. So open these up. It's taped up pretty good, actually. Let's see if I can't dig into this. I should have probably opened them beforehand, huh? Boy, this thing is tough, I'm telling you. Alright, here we go. I think I got it now. Let's open these puppies up and see what we get. Okay. We have, from the Cleveland Indians, Charlie Spikes. Jeff Newman of the A's, Bob Bailey, and Bob Bailey, Red Sox. Okay, Bill Robinson of the Pirates, Dave LaRoche of the Angels. He actually split time between the Indians and the Angels in '77. Doug Flynn of the Mets. He came over in that Tom Seaver trade with the Reds. Tim Blackwell with the Expos. Leroy Stanton with the Mariners. Mike Ivey with the Padres. Roy Hartsfield, the manager of these Blue Jays. There's Roy Hartsfield. Keep him to the side here. Darrell Chaney for Atlanta. Elliot Maddox of the Mets. Larry Gura of the Royals. Ken Kravick of the White Sox. John Ellis of the Rangers. Bo McLaughlin of Houston. Gotta love those uniforms. Vic Harris of the Giants. Mike Norris of the A's. Fernando Gonzalez of Pittsburgh. Terry Bowling of the Twins. Al Oliver, solid player from the Pirates. Mike Barlow of the Angels. Joe Youngblood of the Mets. Fred Kendall of the Indians. Steve Rogers of the Expos. Dave Rozelle of the Cubs. Steve Braun of the Mariners. Junior Moore of the Sox, but I believe actually he was with the Braves in '77. He came to the White Sox in '78. Jerry Garvin with these Blue Jays. I believe he gets to start in the next game. He was the Topps Rookie of the Year that year in '77. He went 10-18. There's Tony Muser of the Orioles. Oops, dropped him. Mike Garman of the Dodgers. Jack Brohammer of the... he actually played for the White Sox. He was sent to the Red Sox in '78, but actually for '77 he was with the White Sox. Darryl Knowles for the Expos. Ron Schuler, and I believe Ron Schuler, he was with the Twins in '77, but '78 he went with the White Sox. Joe Zed of the Royals. Odell Jones of the Pirates. So there you go. So we got Roy Hartsfield, the manager. We'll put him somewhere. Don't know where. But I'll go ahead and put these cards to the side. And we'll get going with the starting lineups for today's game here in Toronto. First of all, I did the roll for the weather, and it was average. So singles are 1 to 4 for lefties, 1 to 9 for righties. Home runs 1 to 14 for everybody. For the White Sox, it'll be Gar in left, Bannister at short, Orta at second, Zisk in right, Spencer at first, Gamble the DH, Soderholm at third, Lemon in center, and Downing catching with Chris Knapp on the mound. For the Blue Jays, it'll be Garcia at second, Mason at short, Alt at first, Ron Fairley the DH, kind of messy there. I wrote in Velez by mistake and didn't realize it was actually Fairley in the lineup. So Fairley's the DH. Ewing's in left, and then the two Woods, Alvis Woods is in right, and Gary Woods is in center. McKay at third, Ashby catching, and Dave Lemanchik is the pitcher. So, get a closer look at both of the pitchers. First of all, for the Blue Jays, it is Dave Lemanchik, and he came over in the expansion draft from the Tigers, won 13 games, 13-16, and for a team like the Blue Jays who didn't do very well, that's not a bad record. 4.25 ERA. He does hold the distinction for having the first loss in franchise history, as in the real game the White Sox beat the Blue Jays. So he gets the first loss in Blue Jay history. And Chris Knapp is on the mound for the Sox. Chris Knapp was 12-7 with a 4.81 ERA. So neither pitcher all that stellar, so we might see some runs in this one before it's all said and done. So we'll put Lemanchik in the box. And let's push this back here so we can see everything, hopefully. All right, let's get this to where we need it. Let's push this up just a little bit. Alrighty, let's bring this a little forward. Trying to make it so you can see everything and still see the line score. So I may need to come down just a hair. I think that's going to do it right there. Alright, so leading things off for the White Sox will be left fielder Ralph Gar. And we are underway here for Game 2 from Exhibition Stadium. 2-8 for Gar. He's going to ground it to the pitcher Lemanchik. And that's one away. It'll bring up Alan Bannister, shortstop. 4-8. 4-8 against Lemanchik. 1-6 is a triple. 7-20 will be a single. We get a 3, so it's a triple for Bannister. Bannister with a triple, and on the season, he had 3 triples, so it wasn't like he never had one. Here's Orta. Infield is going to play back. They'll give up the run to get the out. Get a 2-7 for Orta, and that's a solid single to left, so it didn't matter where they played. That's a base hit, RBI single for Orta. And the White Sox lead at 1-0. They'll bring up Richie Zisk. 5-6. 5-6 is a ground ball shortstop B. That's a fielder's choice. 6-4 on the force play. So Zisk is the new runner at first with 2 outs for Jim Spencer, first baseman. 3-6 for Spencer. He's going to ground to second, and that's going to end the inning. But the White Sox pick up a run thanks to the triple by Bannister, the single by Orta. Go to the bottom of the first. It's White Sox 1 and the Blue Jays coming to bat. And Chris Knapp enjoying that 1-run lead. He'll be facing Pedro Garcia for the Blue Jays. 2-7. 2-7. A 1-6 is a single. Anything else he will line to third. And he does line to third, snagged by Soderholm. One away. Brings up Jim Mason, the shortstop. 3-7 for Mason. He will walk. So a one-out walk to Mason. I don't believe he's a threat to steal. He had one stolen base on the year, was caught once, so they're not really going to take any chances. Power man Doug Alt's at the bat. 3-3 for Alt is a ground ball, second base C. That's going to be an out, but it's going to move the runner up. So it's a 4-3 ground out for out number 2. But Mason does get second base, so he's in scoring position for DH Ron Fairley. 5-8 against a lefty. That's a ground ball, second base X. Second baseman Orta, not very good. He's a 4 E23. 4 and an 8 could be problematic. 4 and an 8, actually he'll get to that. And there's an 8 there. And he's an E23. E23, there is no 8, so Orta was able to make that play and end the inning with no damage done against Mr. Knapp. So nothing doing for the Blue Jays at the end of 1. It's 1-0 Sox. And they'll send up Oscar Gamble. 6-5 against a lefty for LeManchik is a ground ball to second. And that's handled over there by Garcia. One away. Eric Soderholm. 3-8 for Soderholm. He's going to ground it back to LeManchik, and that's out number 2. And that'll send up Chet Lemon. 5-4. Catcher X. Catcher in this case is Alan Ashby. And Alan Ashby is a 3 E5. 3 and a 7. Check the chart. 3 and 7 is a P/P. And a 7 there. And he is an E5. E5, there is no 7, so it's a P/P, which is a pop-up because there's nobody on base. So there's no check of a pass ball. Simply a pop-up to the catcher to end the inning as Ashby puts it away. We go to the bottom of the second. And it is the Sox 1 and the Blue Jays nothing. Chris Knapp back out there. Start the second inning. He'll be facing Sam Ewing, the left fielder. Lefty hitter, 4-4 against Knapp. 4-4 is a catcher X. This time it'll be Downing. And Downing's defensive prowess. Let's check the chart for Mr. Downing. And Downing is a 3 E5. 3 and a 2. W/G, but again, nobody's on base. It's a 7. There is no 7 on the E5. W/G. Let's see here. No runners on base. It's a squib in front of the plate, and the catcher throws him out. So 2-3 ground out. Ewing is out of there. As Downing pounced on it, throws to first for the out. Here's Al Woods. 1-6 for Woods. That's a solid single to left field, opposite way. Puts it between short and third for a base hit. Now Al Woods did steal 8 bases, caught 7 times. Let's see, he can get a jump on 2 through 6 or a 9, but if he rolls a 10 or 12, he'll get picked off. So they're going to go ahead and see if he can get the lead. To 6, he does get the lead. Let's do some calculations. Chris Knapp is a 0 hold rating, and Downing is a +2 arm. So 15 there for getting the jump, -2 for being held is a 13, +2 for the arm of Downing makes it back to a 15. So a 1 to 15, and he will make it. It's a 19. He got caught stealing. So Al Woods took a chance and didn't quite get there. So bases are empty for Gary Woods. 5-8 for Knapp is a ground ball, second base X. That's Orta again. He's a 4. 4 and a 9. He'll get to that. His error rating is a 23. That's a 6. 23. There is no 6, so Orta will make the play. And that's going to do it for these Blue Jays here in the bottom of the second. So we go to the third. Still 1-0 in favor of the White Sox. Southside Hitmen. Right now it's a low-scoring game. I was expecting more runs, and they may be coming. We'll see. Brian Downing, the batter. Number 9 hitter. It's a 2-7 for Downing. He's going to draw a leadoff walk, and sometimes those leadoff walks can lead to big innings. Downing stole 1 base, got caught twice. He's not going anywhere. Here's Ralph Garr. Garr, it's a 1-9 rather. Ground ball second base, but that's a C, so the runner's going to advance. So it's a 4-3 ground out. Okay, sorry about that. I had a little interruption. We had that ground out to second where Downing went to second on the ground out by Garr. So he's in scoring position with 1 out. And here's Alan Bannister. That's a 1, so it's a wild pitch chance of a 17 for LeManchick. So most likely he will uncork one here. And he does. It's a wild pitch. That's going to move Downing to third. And now the infield's going to have to come in because they don't want to fall behind by 2. With 1 out, they have a chance. Maybe they're thinking they can cut the runoff. So see if they can do that with the infield in. It's a 5-10. It's ground ball shortstop X, and that is Mason. And Mason is a 4E22 for Mason. 4 and a 14. 4 and a 14 is a G2. And that's a 16. And he's a 22. It's short. 22. There is no 16. So he caught a break there. So now we look at the runner advancement on a G2. So let's look at G2 and see what we have. G2 says here if the infield is in, runner at third, infield is in, says leader. So here it says batter is safe, lead runner is out. So how about that? They tried to score tried to score Downing, and he was nailed at the plate. Bannister will reach on the fielder's choice, but he is out. And that out's going to go 6-2 on the fielder's choice. So now that will bring up Orta with 2 outs and a runner at first. Game's still a 1-0 ball game thanks to the being in. There's a 1 again, so it's another chance for a wild pitch for LeManchick. And he uncorks another one. So LeManchick having his issues. Alan Ashby crossed up behind the plate. Trying to go out and talk to him about that. 1-4 for Orta. It's ground ball to first. Alt will step on the bag himself. And the inning's over. So LeManchick pitches around 2 wild pitches and a walk. So definitely some control issues there, but he gets around it. Go to the bottom of the third. Still only 1-0 Sox. So the Blue Jays still very much in this. Here's Dave McKay, switch hitter. Oops. McKay, 3-5, and that's a strikeout. So McKay is out on strikes. Brings up Alan Ashby, number 9 hitter. 1-3. That's a ballpark single check, and for a switch hitter batting left, it's a 1-4. It's a 5, so he's going to line to second. As Orta was able to snag it. 2 up, 2 down, and top of the order, Pedro Garcia. 3-11. He's going to foul out to Soderholm at third, and that's going to end the inning. So the Blue Jays not able to get anything offensively together here. And we go to the fourth, still 1-0 Sox. LeManchick hoping for some run support, but so far no deal. Here's Richie Sisk. 5-5, and it's ground ball to short. Handled by Mason. 1 away. Here's Jim Spencer. 4-6 against the lefty. He's going to fly to right. Handled out there by by Woods. Alvis Woods, or Al Woods. 2 down. Oscar Gamble, the man with the big fro, 2-7. He's going to ground to Alt, and that's going to end the inning. So LeManchik's settling in as well. And we actually have a semi-pitching duel here. It's 1-0 going to the bottom of the fourth. And that'll bring up for the Blue Jays, Jim Mason, the shortstop. Later traded to Texas during the season. 3-7. He's going to walk. So he walked his first trip. He's going to walk again. Not walking like an Egyptian, but he's going to walk. Here's Alt. 2-7 for Alt, and that's a big base hit there for Alt. 1-2 is a double. Anything else, he will single with 2 stars. And that's exactly what we have. It puts runners on the corners with nobody out. And the Blue Jays have something cooking here in the fourth. Here's Ron Fairley, DH, big strong lefty. 1, that's a chance for a wild pitch, but Knapp has no wild pitch. So we got a 6-3. 6-3 against a lefty. The ground ball pitcher X, he's a 3 E20. They're playing the infield at double play depth, but I think the pitcher is considered to be in. So it's a 3 and a 6 for the pitcher. 3 and a 6. For the pitcher is a G3, and that's a 7, and he's an E20. There is no 7, so a G3, I believe the runners are going to advance on that. We'll double check it. G3. G3. Runners at first and third. It says down. Let's see what down. Runner on third gets caught in a rundown and is tagged out. Okay, I was premature on that. This says with runners at first and third, and remember the infield is considered in because the pitcher is considered in. G3, runner on first and third has the word down. You come over here to down. It says runner on third gets caught in a rundown, is tagged out. Batter is safe on fielder's choice, and the runner on first goes to second. So there we go. So that's going to be considered I don't know what the full rundown would be. I'll just make something up. We'll call it 1-2-5. And Alt will go to second, and Fairley will reach on the fielder's choice. So runners at first and second with 1 out. Sam Ewing. 2-4 for Ewing is a strikeout. So Knapp trying to pitch out of this. 1 out away from doing so. Here's Al Woods. 3-12 for Woods. He does it. It's ground ball to short, handled by Bannister. And with runners on the corners, nobody out, the Blue Jays cannot score. Bad base running there by Mason. Cost him a run. And we go to the fifth. LeManchik will be facing Soderholm. It'll be Soderholm, Lemon, and Downing. 112 is a single for Soderholm. Solid single to lead off the fourth, or the fifth rather. Brings up Chet Lemon. Lemon, a 5-6. Ground ball shortstop B, that's a fielder's choice. Force play. 6-4. As Mason flips to Garcia. 1 away. And that brings up Brian Downing. Downing, a 3-6. And that's a solid single to center. Lemon could think about going to third. He was being held. He runs at a 14. Center fielder arm for the Jays is Gary Woods. And Woods is a +1 arm. So 1-14. They're going to hold him up. They're not going to take the chance. The way the D20's been rolling tonight, they're going to go ahead and hold him because he's in scoring position already at second base. Runners at first and second. Here's Ralph Garr, top of the order. 1, and we got another chance for a wild pitch by LeManchik. He's already had 2 of them. Make it 3. So a wild pitch, number 3 by LeManchik. I don't know how many he had in the regular season, but the 1 on the D20 is killing him. Puts runners at second and third now. Infield's going to have to come in with 1 out. We get a 6-8 against the lefty Garr. 6-8 is a single to center. That's going to score the run. Might score 2. I don't know if Downing will be able to score, though. We know that Lemon can score from third with no issue. Downing was not being held because he's a trail runner, but he only runs on an 11. And that'd be a 12 with a +1 arm. So they're going to hold him at third. Still only 1 out. 2-0 White Sox. Here's Bannister. 1-6 for Bannister. He's going to walk, and that's going to load the bases. So LeManchik running into issues. Bases loaded. 1 out for George Orta. Double play depth for the infield. 3-9. 3-9. Ground ball shortstop age. That's what they ordered. 6-4-3. That's going to end the inning. And LeManchik gets out of it with just a 1 run, amazingly. And at the end of 4.5, Sox 2 and the Blue Jays nothing. Could have been a lot worse. That will send up Gary Woods to lead things off against Knapp. 3-9 for Woods, and that's a big hit there. 1's a triple, 1-3 is a triple, 4-20 is a double. So Woods going extra bases, and it's a double, leadoff double for Gary Woods. That'll bring up third baseman Dave McKay, no relation to Jim. 2-9 for McKay, and he's going to get a base hit. 1-2 is a triple, 3-20 is a single with 2 stars, so the run's going to score for certain. Oh, he just missed a triple. It's a single, but it's an RBI single, and the Blue Jays are on the board, cutting the lead at 2-1, right back in the game. Still nobody out for Alan Ashby. He's an A bunter. You know what? He's going to bunt. So Alan Ashby's looking to bunt. It's a 10. That could be problematic. Let's take a look here on the bunt chart. A 10. He's a B bunter because they're expecting it. So a 10 and a B is a pop. So he pops it up. And the white die is a 2, so he pops it right up to the pitcher. Pops it right to Knapp. Nobody's doubled off, but Ashby is out on the pop-up bunt. And it's up to Garcia to get him home, or to get him over. 2-9 for Garcia is a ground ball back to Knapp, and that's going to end the inning. But the Blue Jays do pick up the run, get that run back that they gave up in the top half of the 5th. And at the end of 5, it's Chicago 2 and Toronto 1. And Knapp, that was his point of weakness inning, was the 5th. He's given up 2 hits, so he can still go a little bit longer, but they'll keep a short leash. And LeManchik's got a 6, so he's going to start his point of weakness inning right now, facing Richie Zisk, and he can make you feel weak. 2-12, and that's a leadoff walk. Leadoff walk to Zisk. We'll bring up Spencer. Toronto bullpen active as well. 1-6 for Spencer. It's a single to right. Single to right now. Zisk doesn't run all that well, so they're going to hold him at second base. Runners at first and second. Nobody out for Oscar Gamble. And we get a 6-7 for Gamble. 1-8 is a single. 9-20, he grounds to first. It's a grounder to first for fielder's choice. 3-6 as Alt goes to Mason for out number 1. Zisk does go to third. So runners are on the corners with 1 out for Soderholm. Infield double play depth looking to turn 2. 1-7. And they did it. 1-7's a ground ball shortstop A. Had they been in, it would have been a base hit with that plus sign, but being back is a standard 6-4-3. And they get out of the inning. Blue Jays living dangerously, but they get out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 Sox. And that'll bring up Jim Mason, the shortstop. We got Mason, Alt, and Fairley. 5-7, the lefty, 5-7, and that's going to be a base hit for Mason. 1-7 is a double. Anything else, he singles. And it's a leadoff single for Mr. Mason. He's walked twice and singles, so he's reached base every time. Like I said, not much of a base stealer, and Alt is not going to bunt. Get a 3-9, and he's going to strike him out. So big strikeout there for Knapp. One more batter reached, and he's going to be at his point of weakness. Here's Fairley. 6-8 for Fairley, and he just reached his point of weakness. 1 to 10 is a triple. 11 to 20 is a double. It's a 6, so it's a triple for Fairley, and we got a tie ball game. And that's going to be it for Knapp. He is going to be put to rest, as he has just given up the tying run, and he's also responsible for Fairley at third base. So with the lefty coming on, the White Sox will go to lefty in their bullpen, and it will be Dave Hamilton, former Oakland A pitcher. Dave Hamilton was 4-5 with a 3.61 ERA and 9 saves. So Hamilton, the lefty, is coming on in a big spot. Infield's going to have to come in. Runner at third and only one out. He does get to face the lefty Sam Ewing. It is a 1-7. That's a strikeout. It's a big strikeout. So struck him out. 2 away. Had they left Knapp in there, 1-7 would have been a ground ball to second base, but it would have been the plus sign, and with the infield in, that would have been a base hit. So the move to the lefty paid off. And now with 2 outs, they can put the infield back for Al Woods, another lefty. 1-2 for Woods. He's going to ground it back to the pitcher Hamilton. And the inning's over. But the Blue Jays tie it thanks to the triple by Ron Fairley. And at the end of 6, it is 2-2. And now we'll check and see about LeManchick. He is one batter away from, well, actually it's 2 runners away, base runners away from his point of weakness. But the bullpen is loosening. Lefty Mike Willis is in the Toronto bullpen, loosening. Here's Chet Lemon. 6-7 for Lemon. He's going to walk, so one more base runner, and he will have reached his point of weakness. Lemon walks. Can he steal? Does he want to steal? Stole 8 bases, got caught 7 times. So let's see. They're going to go ahead and hold him up there and let Downing swing away. It's a 1, so it's another chance for a 4th wild pitch on LeManchick. And it is. So LeManchick now with 4 wild pitches. So this is one of the beefs I have with the game in the Super Advanced is there's no way anybody should have 4 wild pitches. But that's just my bad rolling, I guess, to get 1 on the D20. Just bad luck. Here's Downing. 3-5. And that's a single, 2 stars. That's going to bring home the go-ahead run. And that's all for LeManchick. Say he had a wild outing would not be a overstatement. As Downing, RBI single, makes it a 3-2 game. And with Ralph Garr coming up the lefty, they will go to Mike Willis, the lefty, out of the bullpen. Mike Willis was 2-6 with a 3.94 ERA and 5 saves. Lefty on lefty matchup for Mike. What you talking about, Willis? So Willis facing Garr, top of the order. Garr, Bannister in order. 2 lefties and a righty. Downing's at first. Nobody out. 2-8 for Garr against the lefties. He's going to ground to short. And that's a fielder's choice. 6-4. 1 away. Garr is now at first. He could be looking to run. Did steal 12 bases. Let's see if he can get a jump. 2-6 or a 12. 2 through 6 or a 12. It's a 7, so no jump, but there's a 1. So when there's a 1, go back and look at the rule book. I think it's a pickoff chance. Haven't had one of those in a while, so I've got to refresh my memory on the rules. So let me pause the video and come back and check it out. Okay, now I've got it straight. In the rule book, it says if your 20-side dies are 1, the runner attempting to get the lead may be picked off. Refer to the runner's second steal rating, which is, in this case for Garr, it is we're using the number 12, not the number 15. The secondary rating is a 12. Roll the D20. If it's a 1 through 12, then I believe he dives back safely. Yep, if it's a 1 through 12, he'll dive back safely. If it's 13 or higher, he gets picked off. It's a 1, so he got back safely. So no pickoff, and therefore he's not going to get the jump anymore. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next batter, which is Alan Bannister. And we get a 2, possible balk or pass ball. Willis is a 0 balk, so there is no balk. So we'll re-roll. We get a 4-6 against a righty. That's a fly ball to right field B, so that's out number 2. And we're down to George Ortog, another lefty on lefty. 6-9, ground ball to second. That's going to end the inning. But the White Sox score that run here in the top of the 7th to take a 3-2 lead over the Blue Jays. And of course now it is going to be time for our 7th inning stretch. Alright, got to snuck that in real quick. And we'll move on to the bottom of the 7th. And Dave Hamilton is still going to be in there for his 2nd inning of work. He actually started, no, he didn't start any games, but he does have a relief rating of 2, so he should be good for 1 more inning. Here's Gary Woods to lead things off. It is a 6-3 for Hamilton against a righty, and that's a strikeout. So he has not reached his point of weakness inning as of yet. It's only the 3rd batter he's faced, so he's good to go. Here's McKay. 4-5, ground ball to 3rd. Handled by Soderholm, 2 down. And that will bring up Alan Ashby, the catcher, switch hitter, batting now right-handed. 4-9. It's a solid single for Ashby. So he gets the single. Brings up Garcia. Ashby is the tying run. 2-9. 2-9's ground ball back to the pitcher by Garcia, and Hamilton throws to first to end the inning. So 7 innings are in the books here at Exhibition Stadium. And we finally have a good one. It is the White Sox 3 and the Blue Jays 2. And Willis with Zisk, Spencer, and Gamble. So we got a couple more lefties coming up after Zisk, so they're going to let Willis continue. Here's Zisk. 4-10. 4-10 against a righty is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Jim Mason. And Mason is a 4-E22. 4 and a 9. I think you'll get to that. Let's double check it. A 4 and a 9 is a G3, so we will get to it. That is a 12, and he's an E22. 12 on an E22. There is no 12, so it is a good play. Jim Mason able to handle a difficult grounder and make the play. Must have got a bad jump off the seam in the AstroTurf. 1 away. Brings up Jim Spencer, lefty on lefty for Willis. To 1-7, and that is a 1-2 triple, but anything else is going to fly to center to Gary Woods. It's a 19, so Woods was able to get to it, and there's 2 away for Oscar Gamble, DH. Gamble 6-3, Willis against a lefty. That's a ballpark home run chance, and it's 1-14, and Gamble does have normal power against lefties. So 1-14, and Gamble will go deep. And he does. Oscar Gamble, lefty on lefty, takes Willis deep. He says, that's what I'm talking about, Willis. And the White Sox lead it 4-2. Here comes Soderholm. 2-6 for Soderholm, and he homers. Back-to-back homer. Look at that. Eric Soderholm, 2-6 right there against the lefty. And he goes yards, so it's back-to-back jacks. And the Sox, that's going to be it for Willis. He's coming out of there, back-to-back jacks. and Roy Hartsfield has seen enough. So we're going to go to Jerry Johnson out of the bullpen. Jerry Johnson, a right-hander, will be on. And Johnson will be facing Chet Lemon with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. The first 2 outs were easy, but next 2 batters, back-to-back jacks. Here's Lemon, 1-6. Ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. But 2 runs come across, and now the Sox lead it 5-2, and they've given some cushion to their pitching staff. And speaking of the pitching staff, Hamilton is done. So the Blue Jays will be facing a new relief pitcher, and it will be Laren LeGros. He was their closer. He's going to, back in '77, the 2 inning save was very common. So he's in there to try to get that 2 inning save. That is Laren LeGros. And he had 25 saves on the season for the White Sox. He's going to be facing Mason, Alt, and Fairley. That's a 2-8 for Mason, and he's going to ground it to first. Spencer will take it to the bag himself, 1 away. Here's Doug Alt. 6-8, struck him out. So LeGros gets the whiff, 2 down. And that brings up Ron Fairley, who's fairly good. 5-7, struck him out. Wasn't good that time. Inning's over. So we go to the 9th here at Exhibition Stadium. And let's see who they're going to go to. Oh, Jerry Johnson will continue. He'll go for his 2nd inning of work. And he'll be facing Brian Downing, number 9 hitter. 6-2. And that's a ballpark home run chance. Again, 1-14, and Downing has normal power. And we get a 3, so it's a home run for Brian Downing. So the long ball, this Southside Hitmen have awoken with the long ball. That is home run number 3 in the game, and 3 in the last 2 innings. Here's Ralph Garr as they break it open. 1-6, ground ball to second. So we had a close game for a while, but the Hitmen had other ideas. They said it's time to get out of here. 5-5 is a ground ball to short. Bannister is out of there. 2 down, and here's Orta. And he says, I ought to hit a home run, and he might, because that's a ballpark home run shot again. And again, it's 1-14. And Orta goes deep, so he oughta, and he did. Back 2 home runs in each of the last 2 innings. 4 on the game, and the Hitmen living up to their name. And that'll bring up Richie Zisk. Is so befuddled are the Blue Jays that I dropped the white die, so I've got to pause the video and see if I can find it. Okay, white die located. Here's Zisk. Speaking of home runs, 5-5. He will ground to short, rather. I was looking at 6-5. 5-5, he's going to ground to short. Handled by Mason. Inning's over, but now the Sox lead it by the score of 7-2. It is a save situation, though, because it was only 5-2 when Johnson came in, or LeGros came in. So he gets the benefit of being able to qualify for the save because it was a 3-run lead when he entered. So he's got a 5-run lead now. And here's Sam Ewing, left fielder, 4-3, lefty batter. And he's got a ballpark home run chance. So LeGros could give up something. He's got normal power against righties. But it's a 17. It's only a 14 for home runs there. So the D20 not kind. He will instead fly to right field, 1 away. That'll bring up Al Woods. 4-8 against LeGros. It's a fly to center. Handled out there by Chet Lemon. 2 down, 1 out away for the Sox to go 2-0 here against the Blue Jays. Here's Gary Woods. 3-3. He's going to ground to first, and that's going to end the inning and the ball game as the Sox defeat the Blue Jays by the final score of 7-2. Be right back with the totals. Okay, final line score. The White Sox 7, the Blue Jays 2. 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and 6 left on for the White Sox. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 6 left on for the Blue Jays. Winning pitcher was Chris Knapp. Improves to 1-0. Dave Lemanchik took a tough loss going to 0-1. And Laren LeGros gets his first save. So that's going to do it from Exhibition Stadium here in Toronto as the White Sox get the better of the Blue Jays. And Game 3 will wrap up the series tomorrow. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.